I feel like it shows my competitiveness that like I got a concussion from playing no contact flag football.
Only you.
I really want us to like get into the playoffs because if you win intramurals, you get a t-shirt that says champions. And I'm like, I really want the t-shirt that says champion on it. I ended up getting like severely concussed in the flag football because I went up for a touchdown and I got elbowed in the head and knocked out onto the turf.
Oh my God.
And I ended up getting like, I've had concussions before and this was like the most severe concussion I've had of my life and all of my sports. But that's the aggressiveness that you were seeing on when I was like 4.
Hi, Julie.
Hi, Helen.
Woo, it's been a day.
I know you've been on
we go
fire.
Yeah, I'm on fire since morning. I'm like I hit the ground running on a Monday. That's for sure. Whew. I read a book this weekend. It was so major.
Shocking. Helen read a book. Stop the presses.
Seriously.
When's the last time you think you read a book?
I might be on a roll. A couple of years, easily. Years. Fact. I can't even think of the last book I read. Maybe Atomic Habits over there, and I didn't even finish it. But now I have the Tamsin book that I might have to read, the menopause book, although it's after the fact. But I'll learn something. Anyway, that should be interesting.
But no,
it was a good book, and it has me so. I love a good self-help book. That's my thing. I don't
really
read novels anymore. Novels are like I got no time. I got no time for that. I watch my novels now on my content. That's it.
Oh boy.
I know. I'm
Scary.
sorry, but I used to like reading novels, though. I did. The last novel I read, let me just say, 50 Shades of Grey. Hello, Erica, who is now my friend on Instagram. I mean, my friend on TikTok.
Nice. I know. I feel like I should be able to riff on that, but no.
I'm sure you'll think of something.
The last book you read was 50 Shades of Grey, and the first book you read in 5 years is like a self-help book about the power of sales.
I know, but I love the self-help book because I feel that I'm improving when I read. It's just great. Mm-hmm. I know. It's like
every once in a while, it's helpful, but
yeah.
I read a self-help book. I'm trying to think of the one I read. It was about, I think it was about it was about anxiety, and it was about like how to like calm your thoughts, how to like, and it was interesting. So. Oh,
interesting. Well, this, of course, mine had to be the most powerful sentence. I forget the name of it now. It is called The Most Powerful Sentence. Anyway, it's very, very, it was really good. So
That's good.
of course, my mind can't stop thinking about it and all the things.
Yeah, I know. This morning you called me and I don't think you had a 20-minute monologue on the phone with me. I was just like, yep.
It's called The Most Powerful Sentence of All Time by Neil Gordon. And I am obsessed. So we'll leave it at that.
Shout out.
I learned a lot. Big shout out.
Well, I heard that you did your homework. I hope
my
it's
homework.
short.
I think what I like about the homework, the way I did it, is it's very, I feel, the way a comedian would structure something.
Okay.
So are you ready?
Scared.
So buckle up. Buckle up.
We'll recap that. Wait, hold on. We'll recap that last week we talked about some of our embarrassing stories. Mm-hmm. So this week Helen has written some material.
I wrote material. I was so proud of myself because I thought of it in the sauna. I had like decompression time and I was like, this is it. I'm on to something. Okay. So I'm going to go first with pride. So it's going to start out like,
how long is it? How many sentences is it?
No, I don't want you to do sentences because I have to just stay with me.
I know, but it's okay. Fine.
It's 20 sentences. Here we go.
Oh my God, it's 20 minutes.
Ready? No. There's a big difference between being embarrassed in your 30s versus being embarrassed in your 60s. And I am living proof of this concept. When I was 30, I was on a treadmill at the gym. It was back in the day where you had to book treadmill time in advance. And a guy came up to me, approached my treadmill to ask if I was done yet. Of course, I got flustered. I went flying off the treadmill. I was mortified. My first thoughts were all in caps. Oh my God, this is so embarrassing. I hope no one saw that as I bounce back up and I start running, hoping my Sony Walkman still works, and I pretend that just did not happen. Now, if I'm at the gym running on a treadmill, there are always plenty of treadmills, by the way, and no guy in his 30s will be approaching me to ask if I'm done yet. When I go flying off, Sorry. When I go flying off the treadmill now, my first thoughts upon landing face first have absolutely nothing to do with embarrassment. It goes like this instead. Am I alive? Did I break anything? Did I pee my pants? I hope my phone screen didn't crack. The treadmill was definitely broken. I hope everyone saw that so I have witnesses for my lawsuit. Then I realized my phone was recording the whole time. So I immediately posted to my social media, most embarrassing moment at the gym. So the difference between being embarrassed in your 30s versus being embarrassed in your 60s is that in your 30s, you want to bury it and hide it forever. But in your 60s, you share it with millions of people on the internet.
That was really good. I feel like you're more of a storyteller, and I love it.
It might be my style.
I think storytelling is your thing.
But my delivery is a problem because I think that when I hear you, like now I feel like I have to work on this because what I wanted to portray a couple of things when I wanted it to be a double meaning of like the guy in his 30s asking him if I'm done yet, wink, wink. Am I done yet?
Oh my God.
I thought that was funny, but I think that might've gone over your head. Maybe I'm too old for that joke.
It did not go over my head. I just was.
I thought that was funny. Okay. You just wanted it to. You just wanted it to go over your head.
I knew things were off to a weird start when you dropped 50 Shades of Grey, but it's okay. Here we are.
Here we are. But the other thing that's funny is that when I realized my phone was recording the whole time and I immediately posted to social media, I don't think you connected that I was saying it was the most embarrassing moment, but that's not the thought that I had in my head at all. Like I wasn't thinking it was embarrassing. I was just like, am I alive? Did I break anything? Did I pee my pants? I hope my phone didn't crack. Like all the things that went in my head, it had nothing to do with being embarrassed. But when I posted it, the first thing I said is most embarrassing moment at the gym. But I don't think you made that connection. So anyway, that was my problem. And then I needed to somehow tie it all together of like circling back to what's the difference between embarrassed. I thought I did that pretty well. Like the difference between embarrassed in your 30s and your 60s, like in your 30s, you want to be invisible. In your 60s, you share it with millions of people on the internet. I thought that was funny.
I like that. That's funny. I feel like maybe there's something there with the tag of like, in your 30s, you're embarrassed. In your 60s, you're like, is this going to go viral?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
I had a viral thing in there at one point, and it was just like it's hard not to be wordy.
Yeah, I know.
Let's see what you got now. Let's critique mine first.
Well, no. I think it's so funny because there are some older women that do comedy, and one of them does like honestly like dirty humor, and I'm like, and she has 4 kids, a lot of people like I know so many older women that do comedy, and it's raunchy, and I'm just like, oh my God, like if my mom was on stage doing sex jokes right now, like what in the world? Like I can't even get myself to do a sex joke on stage, and then they invite their kids to the show, and I just don't even know how I would handle that. Yeah.
Right. Well, I didn't do a sex joke. I just thought it was like a double meaning.
Yeah. The double euphemism. Okay. So this week I had a show on Friday. So I was really preparing for that and not trying to like write new stuff. So this morning I was brainstorming on what we talked about last week, and I more just have some like concepts of jokes rather than like hard hitting. So, and this can kind of show, I guess, like what my kind of process is. Cause I just started by like free writing and journaling about my embarrassing moments. My 2 embarrassing moments were like forgetting to wear a bra in the 7th grade and then like salsa dancing in the 7th grade and having the guy that I was salsa dancing with walk away. But at first I was like exploring this idea of like bras and being like, I forgot to wear a bra one day in the 7th grade. And given how embarrassed I felt, I acted as if I had triple G knockers flopping left and right. Meanwhile, I was flat as a pancake.
That's funny.
Yeah, I think that's funny.
You're immediately funny. I'm not funny.
Then I just had some other riffs on that. It's like, I remember when my mom took me to buy my first bra, and it truly felt like I was going to die in the middle of Limited 2. Like I ended up getting a training bra, which now we would consider a crop top. Cause like I was thinking about, it's like those training bras back then, they're literally just fucking crop tops. Like it wasn't doing anything.
I don't know. That's so funny.
And then I was thinking maybe it'd be funny to go into something like I got accustomed to the bra life, and now it's like a security blanket. Something like when you put a bra on, you feel like motivated, but then also at the end of the day, it's like so nice to take it off. I have another one. I was like, I don't feel like I remember growing boobs, but then all of a sudden it's just like boobs. I don't know if that's funny.
That's funny.
What else? Oh, then I kind of got into the topic of like the embarrassment. And I said, it's a miracle that I somehow do stand-up comedy because my entire childhood I was perpetually embarrassed that I simply existed.
That's funny.
And then I thought this could be more of a bit because right now a bit that I'm working on is about like how I have a lot of like social anxiety. And I was trying to say I have so much social anxiety, but I also have extreme FOMO. So instead of having like the angel and the devil on my shoulder trying to help me make decision, I have like social anxiety and FOMO on my shoulders.
Oh, that's funny.
I don't know. I think there's something that could be there. If I only listened to my social anxiety devil, I probably would not be doing stand-up comedy. If I only listened to my FOMO angel, I would probably be dead. Like,
oh my God.
I said, I feel like I have a good balance where my FOMO angel kicks in before the social anxiety devil can force me to grab a blanket, curl up with a good book, and never leave the house.
Oh my God.
Something like that. And then
see, yours are just like immediate jokes. Like,
and then
I don't know.
The last one I have is in seventh. Like to do an example of that was like in seventh grade, without realizing it, I raised my hand to volunteer to salsa dance with a boy in front of the entire student body. Truly, what the fuck was I thinking? My FOMO brain was just like, this is your rom-com moment. It's happening. But my social anxiety devil was clearly on PTO. Something like that. So that's kind of like what I've been working on with it. It's not anything
that's
super
funny.
concrete but yeah, I thought the playing with like the social anxiety devil and the FOMO angel could be a funny concept to kind of tie into my anxiety bit.
That's good. It's
Do
funny.
you have any thoughts? If there anything stood out
It's
particularly?
all funny. It's for me. It's like you're funny. I don't know how. I just this is all it's proving to me is how not funny I am.
Oh my God. You're more of a storyteller, and that's fine.
I don't think it's fun. Whatever. I don't know. It's fine. I'm having fun with this exercise. I think the whole thing about it is a fun process to figure out. I think it's great that we have different strengths. Number one, like it would be boring if we all had the same skills. But I like the challenge of trying to figure it out. I enjoy it.
Yeah,
so
that's good.
I really spent a good amount of time thinking about how could this be a bit versus just the story of me falling off the treadmill. So I want to say, I hope Lorraine thought the story was so funny as it was. So she's like, the story is just funny. And I'm like, well, it is, but it's not. So hopefully I did Lorraine proud on this one.
I'm sure you did. Shout out to Lorraine.
Because it's true. Because I can't even think of being embarrassed now. By the way, I saw a video this morning from a girl who's from France, and she said people always talk about getting embarrassed in the States, and in France we don't get embarrassed. Like if I fall, it's not embarrassing. I'm just like, oh, I fell. I just thought that was interesting.
Interesting.
Especially that it was on topic with us today.
Very on topic.
Like it's so weird. How did she know?
How did she know?
How did she know?
I know. I thought I feel like the social anxiety thing, the embarrassment, that could be good. Could be good in my stand-up. I had a show this weekend. I think it was like the best show where I felt performance-wise.
I can't wait to hear it. I
felt like very in my body. I felt like good about everything. It's also the first show in like months that I haven't produced. So it was nice to just like go and just the only thing I had to worry about was performing my 8 minutes.
Great. Did you feel more stressed about that or less?
Like a little bit of both. I more just felt like, okay, like because I'm not doing anything, you better fucking crush it up there because you don't have other things to worry about, which maybe producing
excuse.
makes me better on other shows because I'm just like, well, this is your time to shine.
Right.
But I felt very proud of myself afterward, which I haven't felt in a while after a stand-up performance.
Great. It's a good
I
feeling.
feel really good about it. Yeah. So we soldier on. I'm trying to get booked on a show for when you guys are here, and it's proving to be difficult, but we're working on it. We're working on it.
All right, work on it. That would be so fun because I think that would be nice for Jonathan for us to come and see you in person. And
I know.
Again, he hasn't seen you since the New York show that he interrupted. Whoops.
I do have a line about him being my first heckler, and it did great.
Oh, he'll probably love that.
I don't think I'm going to do the material about him while he's in the audience, though.
Oh, okay.
Because right now, the set I did on Friday, it's 8 minutes and 4 minutes was Jonathan related. Like, because I have that, because that story has just gotten very tight and it's like very,
Oh, wow.
So,
I should, am I going to hear that in the recording?
yeah, I'll send you the set.
Good. Oh, good.
But
Good.
this week,
All right. Well, What's our topic?
Yeah.
What's our hot topic for
I
the
wanted
week,
to talk
Julie?
about. I want to talk about sports. I want to talk about our sports. I don't know, fun things that happened in our sports lives growing up. More for when we were kids, and you maybe from your angle being a soccer. I say soccer mom loosely. I just mean like you had kids who played sports. And for me, as someone who played sports, because I'm kind of playing around with a bit about my competitive energy. So I thought it could be fun to kind of see if you had any stories that really,
Yes.
if you want to kick us off, I can let you.
I'll kick it off. Okay. So what I did was, because you gave me the prompt to think about, and I said, all right, let me think of, I have one for you. And then I had a quick Tommy one and a quick Jonathan one, because I thought it would be
nice.
appropriate to kind of do in a story for each of you. And this isn't like a funny story. This is just like memories.
They don't have
of
to be funny
sports.
stories.
Yes,
These are
I know.
just
I know.
memories.
These are just funny memories, or just regular memories, not even funny.
Yeah.
So with Tommy, I'm going to say, let's the memories of Tommy in sports was always like, how is the nicest boy in second grade ever going to be the most aggressive in sports? So this is, I mean, that almost is like a comedy line right there. But
Yeah.
because his second grade teacher, Mrs. Sutter, told me, Tommy is the nicest boy in the class. He is so nice to all the children, even the girls. Like, he's just a nice boy in the class. So cut to, he's in high school. Like, he's not going to knock someone over to get a basketball. He's going to say, here, you take it. You know what I mean? He's a nice kid. He was not that kind of kid. So Tommy, you were an awesome person, but that held you back potentially in sports. And I think that was just the nature of, you know, who he was and how he was grown up. I mean, he was a perfectly obedient toddler. And if I said, don't touch the wine bottles, he never touched them again. So that's who he was. All right. So that didn't help him in sports. But when he was in high school and he played on the winning basketball team, and he got no playing time, hardly at all, like the last minute occasionally. And it was just like sad in a way as a parent, like you just want your kid to have that moment where they put him in and it's like epic. And so senior day, they put Tommy in. By the way, he's a really good basketball player now. So he just came into his own as an adult, you know, he had to get away from high school for that. But he goes in for senior day, and it's like everyone's rooting for Tommy. First of all, they loved him because he was the most likable person. Like, again, he was always the nicest. So everybody loved Tommy. So he got in, he made one basket. The crowd was roaring. He ate it up. He took that ball. Again, he's in again. He had all the points. It was like such a wonderful, epic memory. So that's my Tommy memory, like an epic senior day.
I even
of
remember
him.
that. So,
Oh my God, it was epic. And Jonathan still remembers it too. Okay, now my Jonathan memory is that he also was playing basketball, Special Olympics, and struggled as a kid playing sports when he was in like regular school, whatever. But when he was in Special Olympics, and he's the big guy, so he was like the go-to to get the ball to, big guy. You know, they miss him right now because he has off for 2 years because of his back injury. But listen, he one time had a winning basket, and when I tell you, he thinks he is king of the hill. He will never let us forget that. Talks about it to this day. It's been like 10 years since he had the winning basket, but he talks about, remember when I had the winning basket? So one thing I will say about Jonathan is he has the ego that Tommy never had as an athlete. This is a comedy set right here.
I wonder where this
is
going for me. I feel like I already know what's going to happen.
Buckle up. So now cut to, so Tommy's like too nice. Jonathan's like, thinks he's amazing. He's got the ego, the winning ego. Okay. So in comes, and funny that you called me a soccer mom, because that's exactly what I'm going to talk about. So the boys played soccer. It was like, oh, you know, you sit there, they're like barely can get to the ball. The two of them, like Jonathan had his issues because when he was younger, Tommy wasn't really aggressive. So he was like maybe running hard to get the ball. In comes Juli, her first soccer game. I will never forget this. You were like, whatever, 3, 4, whatever you can first play soccer, like a little girl.
Okay.
I said, holy crap, we have our athlete. You went into that game. I'm like, oh my gosh, you had the fire that if the two of them could have coordinated, like the ego with if they had, it was nuts. You were like a maniac. I said, oh my God, she's going to be a star athlete. This is what I actually pictured in my life that day. And I was laughing because when you went on stage for comedy the first time, and I remember Tommy, one of the things I'll never forget, because I think I even have a video of him doing it. He goes, she's a star. Like he said that because you just kind of got up there and it was like, you nailed it. You know, the first time you stood up on a stage, and we were shocked. None of us knew what we were going to expect. So it was like the soccer moment was relived again in comedy, where I was like, oh my God, So yeah, those are my three very specific childhood sports
How
memories.
old was I in the soccer? Do you like remember anything
young,
about this?
tiny.
Was it like rec
3,
league at
4,
Chatham?
whatever. No, it was like before that. It was like you were like a little 5-year-old running around. So the soonest you could get in a soccer field, we had you in the little soccer camp because, you know, the boys are playing sports. So you were going to do it too. And it was so tiny. I probably have pictures. I might have to go back. Oh my God, let's go back and find pictures because I don't remember. I just remember you being small and mighty. It was crazy. Mm-hmm. You were like a maniac out there. I was like, she's out to kill.
What was my downfall? You had the downfall of Tommy and Tommy's was he was too nice. Jonathan's is
then the only downfall might have been like when you were in volleyball, when you were in high school volleyball, and it was like you were height challenged.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Politics and heights, you know? Yeah, no, I don't think there was I don't really think of it as a downfall. I just think those were my three very specific memories.
I know. It's like if you combined all of us into one kid, we would have been a professional athlete.
So good. So good.
We all had like one key factor that an athlete needs. But then,
so amazing.
Yeah, if I was taller, I do think like if I was a foot taller, I would have been like a professional athlete. Like I feel that to my core.
You have the fire. That's the thing. You have the fire. Like you have the competitive edge that, yeah, that's it. All right. So what's your memory?
That's funny that you said you have that. Wait, before we move on to mine, that you had the same feeling seeing me play soccer as seeing me do stand up the first time.
Yes.
That's so interesting.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, I didn't know it until this second. I didn't plan this morning when I was thinking, what are my 3 things about each of you that I was going to say when we talked about the topic? I right away had my 3 things, but I didn't until this moment connect it with comedy. And it was because it was the same feeling that I'm thinking about it now. So pretty cool.
Wow. Maybe that's
pretty cool.
Foreshadowing my future.
That's how I hope so. I hope so.
I hope so too. Because I do get the same, I will say, in terms of like I do feel like stand up gives me some sort of almost like it is
what you were missing from sports. Yeah. Something,
kind of. Yeah. It's like a similar, it's like competitive. It's like it's kind of on you to get better at the sport.
Right.
Not that it's not like, in some ways it's kind of like a team sport because you need to have the support of other people. And in other ways, it's very much an individual sport. I think like when we watch tennis, I do have a bit about this. Because Steven loves to watch tennis and then I love watching tennis too. But I'm like, if I was a I think I literally would have like, I could have thrived as a tennis player because it's like, it's a very individual, but like kind of a team sport. And I'm like, I should have done tennis competitively. Like, what was I thinking? I'm like, what was I doing? Because I'm like, oh, I could totally like see myself. Like, that's like the ones, obviously now I'm like, if I was a foot taller, it would be like, I'd be doing basketball or volleyball. But I am like, missed the mark on not pursuing tennis. Cause I feel like I could have been there. That's okay. Anyway, what I was saying is that I get the same feelings of sports of like when with stand up of like the competitive, the drive, that all of those good things. My one story that I have about my sports history, it doesn't even involve my childhood sports self, but maybe I'll try and think of whatever. So my one story is that when I was in college, I played intramural sports and I loved playing intramural sports because I still loved playing sports in high school and it was a way to do that in college. I made the mistake of not making friends who are super athletic. Like none of my friends were all as into sports as I was, which is probably like my one bigger mistake of my college life was not meeting people who were as into sports as I was until later in my college career. Like I loved my friends, but I feel like I should have, whatever. And so senior year, I wanted to do flag football. And I made a team. I was always making the teams for intramurals and rounding up people because I was like, I want to do this, but it's only going to happen if I do it. So I rounded everybody up. We played flag football. We do the season. We're not very good, but we're like going to get into the playoffs because of like contingency things. And I really want us to like get into the playoffs because if you win intramurals, you get a t-shirt that says champions. And I'm like, I really want the t-shirt that says champion on it.
The swag.
And I had won it my sophomore year playing beach volleyball. And I was like, I want another t-shirt. I want the updated champion shirt.
Oh my God.
And I ended up getting like severely concussed in the flag football because I went up for a touchdown and I got elbowed in the head and knocked out onto the turf.
Oh my God.
And I ended up getting like, I've had concussions before, and this was like the most severe concussion I've had of my life and all of my sports. Like it was crazy. But I just thought that was funny because I feel like it shows my competitiveness that like I got a concussion from playing no contact flag football.
Only you.
Only me.
But
that's the aggressiveness that you were seeing on when I was like 4.
I remember when it happened too, when you had that concussion too. Yeah. I didn't know you. I thought you were going to tell more of a childhood soccer, like a childhood sports story.
I might need to think. I do have some.
Yeah. All right.
But that was my main one. If you have any thoughts or thoughts on that.
No, I think, I think you can make some good comedy out of that. Being like, I don't know, the whole tying it to your childhood, your competitiveness, when you did that whole thing about how you have the competitive edge of Michael Jordan and in the body of Garfield the cat. Remember you did that? That was like one of your funny early bits. That always did well. Did you abandon that one altogether?
No, it's still there.
You still have it? Still out
comes
there?
in the rotation every once in a while.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, this was fun. I'm going to say it's getting dark in here, so we might have to go because I have no. Are you seeing any light on my face? I don't know.
I am, but it's okay. We can wrap sooner.
Just because the sun's going down real quick, and sometimes when we record, depending on the time of day, in the midst of this, poor Steven, but I made my computer light brighter, so I think I added light, which I should have done sooner, and it just hit me as the sun set that I better like brighten things up in here. Okay. But this was fun. This was fun.
I liked hearing about your
sports
takes on,
yeah. I wanted to make sure to have, because I had very specific ones for each of you, and it was like they're so different. So I just thought that was significant, and it was funny I like these prompts because it makes me really think back to things that are just not at top of mind now. Yeah, like in daily top of mind. So this is fun. I enjoyed it. Thank you for the prompt. Excited. Of course. Now what's the goal? I'm supposed to write jokes about this? This will be funny.
Only if you want. Like you don't
I want to learn. This is why we're doing it. Something will come to me. Maybe I can do something. So could I maybe do something where it's like, I kind of already have an idea. Like when you have 3 kids and you think, oh, they all have the same DNA. How could they end up so vastly different on certain things? I could do something like that. Yeah. I could do something like that. Or, maybe. Is like
let it percolate, let it marinate.
Yeah, I'll marinate sometimes when I'm running, and it's when I start to think about the things. That's when I had the idea of comparing the 30s to 60s embarrassing moment, because we didn't really, you know how I came up with that idea? Because when you said, I can't believe you were embarrassed in your 30s, that seems like too old to be embarrassed. And
for you, yeah.
Well, for me, but because I want to say, but you're 28, so you're almost 30, and things happen to you, and you're like mortified and embarrassed, right?
Yeah. But like, I feel like not as
much. Yeah.
Not as much.
Huh.
All right. Well,
I was trying to think, because when I was speaking at this thing recently, and I was like, I think later on I realized I said somebody's name wrong that introduced themselves in the audience. And I was like, oh my God, I was so embarrassed because it was somebody from the studio that showed up. And I was like, oh my God, I feel so bad. It was like so embarrassing. But it wasn't embarrassing like I wanted to crawl into a hole. I just felt bad for her that I heard. And then I write to her and she goes, I didn't even hear you say my name wrong. And I was like, after all of that, we work the things in our head so much. Oh my goodness. We got to stop doing that to ourselves.
We do.
That's what we learned. All right. Well, listen, I feel like these sessions are very productive and they go really fast. So thank you for thinking of this idea. I'm enjoying it so much. I feel that we have focus and purpose, and we get better each week from doing it. So can't wait till next week.
I will have some jokes next week, some more concrete.
Okay. I'm ready. I'll try and do my homework.
All right.
Thank you. Yours truly,
Helen and Juli.
Dun, 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 if you enjoyed it today. All right. Well, this was fun. If you want to leave a review, do the thing. Be nice to us and leave a review, because we love being here.
We have so much fun. So leave us a review, follow us on the socials, and we'll be back next week with more jokes.
Yes. Thanks for listening. We love you.
Alrighty.
Bye.